Welcome back to the channel. So today we are jumping back on our MK8 Golf R project. We've been so busy in the workshop, we haven't been able to spend as much time as we'd like to on the MK8 Golf R platform. So today we're jumping back on it. You can see it's on the dyno. The reason being is that we're installing RacingLine ECU and TCU software. So we'll just run through the current spec of the car that we've got. So obviously you've got the Miltech catback, which doesn't really impact sort of like the power and torque. It just gives you more exhaust sound and tone, and obviously looks really good as well. On the intake side of things, we've got the Venturi intake, which includes the turbo elbow as well. So the intake's been fully de-restricted on this particular car. And then you can see in some of our other videos that we've done on the channel, we've tested the RacingLine intake, we've tested the Venturi intake. So you can see more about the differences that makes on the other videos. But for now, we're installing RacingLine ECU TCU software. So if you're not familiar with ECU and TCU software already, the ECU software is for the engine, and that optimizes the fueling, ignition boost, all the other maps inside the ECU to lift up the power and torque output. And then the TCU software, because there's such a colossal increase in power with the ECU software, ideally you want to optimize the transmission control unit software for use with the improved engine output. And what that does a few different things. The most important thing is it increases the clamping pressure to make sure the clutch doesn't slip with the higher output, and also improves the drivability substantially as well, like the in-gear acceleration, the gear shifting's a lot faster, and it's a lot smoother to drive as well. So it's a win-win. If you've got a DSG car, you definitely want to do the TCU at the same time. So for now, let's get it on the dyno like we have done now, see what the standard power is, install the ECU TCU software, and then you'll join us a little bit later. We would go through the graphs at the end of the video. So see you then. Okay, so we finished off tuning the MK8 Golf R. We've got some really exciting results to share behind us. So the red lines, the car standard, and then the blue lines, the car now. So obviously just to refresh, this particular car has already got the Venturi cold air intake and also the intake output on there. So the intake's fully restricted, which is why it makes a little bit more power from the original baseline of the car. So standard is coming in about 333 horsepower, about 451 Newton meters of torque. And you can see there's a colossal gain the whole way across the rev range. It's now making 413 horsepower and 543 Newton meters of torque. And that's just from the ECU and the TCU software being added onto the car. So it's about another 80 horsepower and about another 80 Newton meters of torque as well. That's only obviously part of the story as usual, because if you go the whole way up here, you've actually got almost 100 horsepower difference, the maximum gains on the rev range. So colossal difference before and after. Really looking forward to giving this a go on the road. Okay, so we are out in the MK8 Golf R after having the ECU and TCU software flashed. So obviously a lot of you guys have been asking us to do sort of like driving videos, so here we are. So this is my first sort of like sample of the MK8 Golf R. So doing a pull from first gear, see what it's like. Definitely didn't do that standard, push me back in the seat. That's a massive difference compared to standard. The car sounds a lot different as well. That's crazy. So before as standards, the car was really flat. So what would happen is you get to around about sort of like 5,000, 6,000 RPM and the power would just completely die. Whereas now, it pulls the whole way right to the end of the rev range and also pushes you back in the seat a lot more. Whereas probably as standard, to give you sort of like an idea, it might like push you gently into the back of the seat. Whereas now, it just hits you straight back. So if we turn everything off and see what a launch is like as well. Here we go. Let off. Yeah. As it goes through into second gear, that's hilarious. Definitely traction limited in first gear, but as soon as it goes through to second gear, it just absolutely throws you forward. Way better than the standard software. So there we have it. That is the stage 1 upgrade, RacingLine ECU TCU software on the Mark 8 Golf R. So it definitely feels like there's tons more power, definitely feels like there's tons more torque. The launch is a lot harder as well. So if the draggy was working and it wasn't raining, we'd definitely give you some 0 to 60 times and all that nonsense. But yeah, absolute night and day difference before and after. Definitely recommend it on your Mark 8 Golf R. So obviously, if you want to get any of these sort of like ECU software, TCU software, intake, exhaust system, any of those bits and pieces, then head to the description and you can get in contact with us. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't done already, then give us a thumbs up. If you want to watch some of our other videos that YouTube thinks you'll like, then click up here. If you want to watch some other videos in the same playlist, then click here. And if you haven't done already, then hit the subscribe button right here.